Lovely family, if Burkina Faso is truly unsafe, why are investors rushing in there? Looking at what just happened in Burkina Faso, a historic moment which I'm going to talk about right now, we need to raise questions, lovely family. Burkina Faso, a country the Western media says is unstable, unsafe, and isolated. This has been the narrative since. But if that is true, lovely family, why are major international organizations opening their offices there in Burkina Faso? It's a question that we need to ask. Why are millions of dollars flowing into Burkina Faso's economy through international partnership? Why are investors choosing Burkina Faso over countries that the West calls safe countries? The most safest countries, investors are choosing the one which is labeled as unsafe over the ones labeled as safe. Today, lovely people, I bring you a powerful update from Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso. And after that, we break down exactly why the new Burkina Faso under Captain Ibrahim Traoré is becoming the new hub for investment in West Africa. This is not just about economies, it is about Pan-African dignity, self-reliance, and the rejection of false narrative. Let's hit the big news, lovely family. The arrival of the High African Arab Economic Council in Burkina Faso. Lovely people, this is what happened. On Monday, 21st July 2025, the president of the High African Arab Economic Council arrived in Ouagadougou, the capital city of Burkina Faso. And since this has never happened before, this we can say it marked a historic shift in relations between the Arab nations and Africa countries. And right now, Burkina Faso is leading the way for this particular development. After arriving on 21st July, just 2 days later, on 23rd July, lovely people, the High African Arab Economic Council has officially opened its office in the heart of Ouagadougou, a powerful symbol of Arab-African cooperation. It was an amazing ceremony. The ceremony or the opening ceremony was actually attended by senior government officials, religious leaders, and local business figures because this is going to help businesses. I'm going to tell you details about that. And according to El Aj, who is the executive director of the council in Burkina Faso, let me concentrate a little bit on my screen. He said, this will help our economy operators work more closely and build stronger partnership. That is, he's talking about the office over there is going to help their economy operators work more closely and build stronger partnership with not only Burkina Faso, but other Africa countries also. And I know many people who don't know what this is about will be asking, what is the High African Arab Economic Council? What is it about? In short, lovely people, the High African Arab Economic Council is Arab regional body that operates in several key sectors. And these sectors include economic development, trade and investment, health care, and also humanitarian aid. According to the definition of the president of the council, he said, he described this as a complete ecosystem that connects Arab capitals with African opportunities. And according to them, Burkina Faso is the safest place to open their offices. Their offices are not everywhere in the world. Their offices are just in some key countries. But Burkina Faso is the safest place for them to open their offices. And I ask myself, is this not the same place that is said to the world that this place is the most terror country in the world and this is the most unsafe place for people not to visit? What is happening? Is it now safe? We need to ask questions. And lovely people, this is not just talk. These people actually did not just came with empty-handed. They came with gifts. The delegation of this council, lovely people, donated 40 tons of cement to the Faso Mabel initiative by the president of Burkina Faso, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, to support infrastructure and local development in Burkina Faso. And the location of their office is very strategic, lovely people. Their office right now, as we speak, is located in 2000 Ouaga. And this district is now seen as a diplomatic and economic heart of Burkina Faso. This is the country which is labeled as unsafe. Nothing good can come out there. It's all about terror, 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 terror. And ask yourself, let's pause a little bit and ask ourselves, why Burkina Faso? If the country is as dangerous and isolated as Western media claims, why are powerful economics, or let me say, why are powerful economic councils setting up their shop there in Burkina Faso, the most unsafe country, as labeled by the Western media? And I'm beginning to ask some critical questions. Why not Ghana? Why not Senegal? Why not Kenya? Why not Nigeria, the giant of Africa? Why? Why Burkina Faso? Lovely family, the answer is very simple. Burkina Faso, because Burkina Faso is becoming sovereign, independent of Western control, and real investors, not colonial donors. We have colonial donors and we have investors. Real investors see the opportunity and they are seizing it. Under Captain Ibrahim Traoré, Burkina Faso is rewriting the rules. It is no longer about begging the IMF. It is about building its own economic path grounded in Pan-African values, Pan-African trade, and solidarity with real partners, not colonial jaguars. And that is what the West is afraid of. That is why they label Burkina Faso as unsafe. Burkina Faso has become a magnet for investment, lovely people, since Captain Ibrahim Traoré took power. You and I can agree that a new economic chapter has begun in Burkina Faso. Without wasting much time, let's break some of the major investment and partnership Burkina Faso has attracted since Captain Ibrahim Traoré took over in 2022, which was not there under the former government. We are not going to talk about Russia signing defense cooperation agreement with Burkina Faso, offering technical and energy assistance to Burkina Faso, and currently they are talking about nuclear energy deal through Rosatom or Russia's Rosatom. We are not going to talk about that. Let's talk about Turkey. Burkina Faso, a country labeled as unsafe. As I'm speaking to you right now, Turkish companies involved in roads construction and hospitals projects are currently operating in Burkina Faso. There is ongoing security equipment support from Turkey to Burkina Faso, or between Turkey and Burkina Faso right now as we're speaking. When you talk about Iran, people will not go and support or invest in a country that is unsafe. When we talk about Iran right now, Iran has opened wild diplomatic tie with Burkina Faso like never before. Iran has expressed interest in a country that the West label as unsafe. Iran is showing interest in agriculture, medicine, and mining cooperation in Burkina Faso. When you move from there and you talk about UAE and Qatar, as I'm speaking to you, quiet meeting reported for long-term energy and infrastructure investment was held in Burkina Faso recently. UAE investors are looking into solar and energy storage projects in Burkina Faso as we're speaking. A country labeled as unsafe. I don't understand. How does this work? Are we going to talk about China? Currently, there is discussion between China and Burkina Faso on mining operation and a conversation about potential for AR and telecommunication support and revolution is going on right now between China and Burkina Faso. That is not all, lovely people. Private African investors are flooding Burkina Faso as we're speaking. There is so much growing interest. Everybody wants to go and invest in Burkina Faso. Regional companies are investing in transport and logistics in Burkina Faso. And to top it all, top content creators, YouTubers, took it upon themselves because they don't believe the media and they don't believe some of us also. They went to Burkina Faso to find out for themselves. And these people came out with receipts confirming whatever we are telling you on this platform about Burkina Faso, about the Sahel. Somebody like Odemeyer, the great Odemeyer, will tell you that Burkina Faso, he went there and realized that Burkina Faso is under construction. The entire country. That is powerful. Burkina Faso now control more of its gold production. You talk about local processing plant initiated with state partnerships. And lovely people, these are not loans. These are investment, trade deals, and real partnership, not a trap. This is the Burkina Faso renaissance that nobody expected, lovely people. So let's get real. Nobody will go and invest in a country or in a place which is unsafe. So if Burkina Faso is unsafe, then why is it safer for investment than countries which are labeled as safe by the West? Why is there no High African Arab Economic Council office in South Africa, in Ghana, or any of these African countries labeled as safe place to invest? This actually shows you what the Western media doesn't want you to see. What they don't want you to see is that safety, according to them, means obedience to the West, lovely people. Real freedom to them, that is what they call danger. What Captain Ibrahim Traoré is building is a Pan-African sovereignty. He is creating a model that proves Africa can rise without Western influence and interference. He's showing that young African leadership backed by its people can create safety, security, and prosperity on its own terms. The real question we must begin to ask right now, lovely people, is if Burkina Faso is attracting more investors than the so-called safe countries, then who is really dangerous? Traoré's Burkina Faso or the Western agenda? Burkina Faso is rising not because Burkina Faso is rich in gold, no, but it is because Burkina Faso has found gold in its spirit, the spirit of self-determination, the spirit of resistance and Pan-African unity. From gold reform to diplomatic realignment, from the High African Arab Council office to defense sovereignty, Burkina Faso is becoming the blueprint for the next generation of African nations. We can't wait for that day, for more African nations taking this bold path. And if you believe in Africans' right to self-rule, if you believe we need our own partnership, and if you see the games being played by the West, then you need to like this video, you need to share this video with families and friends, and drop your thought in the comment.